good. Well, good morning to you both. It's great to see you.
Morning.
Thanks ever so much for taking the time just to allow us to get to know you both a little bit better. So just for those of our congregation or whoever else might be listening in on Facebook or YouTube, Chris and Lotta, who are based in Sweden, and we're going to be speaking to you for maybe 5 minutes or so just to get to know you a little bit better and get to know your work in Sweden a little bit better as well. So why don't you both kick us just off with letting us know when it all began and why it all began, what persuaded you to become missionaries in Stockholm?
Yeah, so we were in Serbia for 13 years as missionaries. We started a project at Project Timothy. It was 2003 to 2014. We went there 2001, so we were there longer, but we studied theology the 2 first years. And in the end of that period, because we were in Project Timothy, we were training trainers, we came to a point we were not needed anymore. The local guys would just take over the project, which they did, and they're still going great. So in the last 2 years, we were in contact with Crosslinks that we would just try to figure out what will be the next step for us.
Yeah.
And we sort of looked at Istanbul first, but then Crosslinks told us we would actually like to have missionaries in Sweden.
Oh, okay.
And so we're born here, born Swedes, so yeah. We both came back to Sweden. But in many humanly looked like coincidences, but in many different ways we came into contact with this group in Stockholm. Mm-hmm. So they've been a sort of a Bible study group for 10 years. And they tried to pre-launch, they tried to launch a church, but it was too early, so it failed. Okay. And they lost members in process and so on. And mostly was because they lacked serious trained church planters. So yeah. Just too early for them to launch a church. So, we Crosslinks and them sort of get connected, we know that God sort of did that. Yeah. So it was a process of 2 years, and we did a couple of visits, we talked, interviews and so on, and Crosslinks too, and then we decided, this is the right spot for us to actually come and do something here in Stockholm.
Very good.
So that is sort of the short version of it.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. Very good. And so, just remind me, how do I pronounce the name of the area where the church is based?
Yeah, Åkersberga.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Åker means field, and Berga means mountain. So it's a mixture of both, fields and mountains.
Excellent. Very good. And I know, so, we've been supporting you for 2 years, and pretty much from the outset, we were praying that you would be able to actually move to Åkersberga. And that's now happened, which is great because you used to have to travel in and commute in quite a distance every Sunday midweek as well. So once the lockdown is over and once international flights are back up and running, when we come and visit you, what would be the highlights of Åkersberga that you would take us to go and see?
Well, we are living very close to Stockholm, so it's only 13 miles away. Okay. But here in Åkersberga, the forest is beautiful. We are very close to the sea. And of course, if you're interested in Viking remnants, we can take you to do some, picnic and, explore that area as well. So there is a lot of things to do if you like the nature. And of course, there is good food and,
Fantastic. Very good. Well, we can return the favor. We can take you around our industrial sites in Stockport. Of interest to you. Very good. And so, whereabouts is the church based? The building and the congregation. Where do they come from?
So we don't own a building. We are like you. We're a pop-up church. We originally, or sort of a couple of years back, we could rent an old Swedish missionary church. It was a wooden building, red wooden building. Okay. But they are now replanting, so we can't be there anymore.
Right.
So we are actually in the middle of the center, which is much better.
Yeah.
And it's a community hall. It's a building where there is both the cinema, gym, and some conference halls and some other things. And so we could just rent those conference halls.
Oh, perfect. So it's a multifunctional building, and you're
and it's directly in the shopping area. So we are sort of, in the shopping area.
And the train station.
And the train station is just a minute, and there is a parking house, free parking for everybody that comes visit our service. And
wow, that's
and very affordable, because they let us, because it's mostly free Sunday, so they let us pay the lowest fee for the conference hall in the cellar.
Yeah.
But usually, mostly upstairs, beautiful place. It's free Sunday, so we pay for the lowest price, but we can have
You have your choice.
Yeah, we have our choice. So.
The one in the basement is just one room, actually, with a small, tiny pantry kitchen. And the one on the top floor is a 2 grand room with huge kitchen. So we always prefer that one.
Nice, very good.
But the thing is, because we are renting it, we never know beforehand where we are going to be. So usually on Friday, when we are getting the key, that's when they are telling us you're going to be in the basement, or you're going to be in the upper hall. Okay. So it's very hard to do the planning, but we are used to be flexible. So
no, that's good. Excellent. And so tell me, what does a church service look like? What does your Sunday look like, and who would you expect to see at church when you're there setting up in the morning?
So when we usually come to the hall, we never know what state we will find the room in. It could be prepared for a conference, or it could just have been a party the night before. So we start with cleaning up and preparing all the chairs for the service. Yeah. So, but because we have a good team, everybody's helping out with each other. So that's good. We always, because the church is only 10 minutes walk away from us, from our home, but we always have to take the car, because we bring all the things with us, the cups and plates and, coffee and everything. So because of that, it takes some time to set up everything. And usually our service starts at 11 o'clock and goes around for an hour and 30 minutes. Yeah. And after that, we are having a fika, which means coffee and cakes. And we are fellowship.
Fika is the most important Swedish word. If you want to learn the Swedish word fika, F-I-K-A, fika.
So that's something that we always take time to have coffee, and we are having cakes and just catching up and talking and having fellowship. And once a month we are having a smorgasbord with sandwiches and having lunch together. So that's something that we are really emphasizing in. Stay here and let's have a coffee and chat.
And usually we stay like for 2 hours after the service.
Nice.
And then
it sounds like our churches have quite a few things in common.
And we could say that half of the people live very close to the church.
Yeah.
And the other half, actually, some of them travel quite far away.
Right.
Even 2 hours train to come into the church.
Very dedicated.
Yeah, they're very but we are also very unique as a church. Just what we are doing here in Stockholm. So
great. So I know that you both have obviously very different responsibilities with regards to teamwork in Stockholm. So if just very briefly you could just give me a rough idea of what your roles are and what your week looks like in terms of the different ministries that you're involved in, that'd be really good.
Yeah, so on my side, of course, preparing sermons. I do a lot of discipleship, both one-on-ones. There could be several times per week. I think last year I did it with 10 guys. So I had sort of every second week rolling schedule.
Right.
But we had an influx of young guys. Some of them came from prosperity preaching churches, so I just had to deal with theological issues there. So partially that. I'm also preparing materials, writing courses, training materials, and other things, not just for things we need in our ministry, but also we are planning for future church planters.
Okay,
so we want to equip them. So so we have many years of experience with that. So now we are sort of writing Swedish courses and materials and Bible studies. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So that's generally my week.
Right.
I'm working in the Swedish Lutheran Church has a mission organization called Swedish Evangelical Mission. So I'm working with admin, and we're doing that for 70% of my time. And I'm also teaching Bible school, doing 1 year teaching from the Old Testament. So that project will end in the end of May. Most of my time I'm doing one-on-one as well with women, of course, and I'm doing all the admin work that needs to be done in Emmaus Church. I'm the one doing it. So I'm preparing the schedules and preparing for the Sunday services and all the admin work that needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, Lotta, she's working 70% in the office with the administration in that. That is her job, because that is the way we can partially support us. But the Bible school will end, so that's what she wasn't maybe now in May.
So you're both very, very busy in very different different ways. Oh, excellent. And when you do get a chance to maybe just sit back and relax, or maybe not even sit back and relax, maybe you've got what do you do? Do you have any specific hobbies or other interests?
Well, right now we're actually exploring the area we live in, because there are several natural parks and national sort of places we can visit. So we are sort of exploring.
And islands.
Islands.
Yeah, there's a lot of islands.
Oh, yeah. Our municipality has over 1,000 islands. I mean, Stockholm is built on islands. So, you know, a lot of islands to visit.
Fantastic. Very good. Sounds like we need to come more than just once then.
But remember this, Stockholm and Sweden is different from winter to summer. It's totally two different countries. So summer comes.
Spring and summer are beautiful.
Spring and summer are beautiful,
Nice time to come. Very good. Well, we'll bear that in mind. Great. That's very good. Well, that gives us a really good quick snapshot of who you are and what you do. So that's great. Maybe just to round off, what are the key things that we could be praying for you at this time?
Well, I mean, just the situation with the coronavirus, we had members that actually lost family members.
And lost jobs.
And we have members that have lost jobs in this crisis. I also generally just pray for the church, because being online, we don't have all the physical contact. It's difficult for me to do counseling with everybody online. Some don't like that. But we'll still keep the distance. So just pray generally for the church to, that we will sort of, make it through this time. The positive thing is we have a sort of a 10% increase on our online services.
Oh, fantastic.
We still have a lot of new people coming in. Mostly people invite their family members and friends. We have colleagues from their work. Been joining in. So, I mean, that's still a good thing.
That's really encouraging.
One testimony is that we have a lady who she is Christian, but her husband is not Christian, and when she is taking part of the Zoom Sunday service, she put the speaker on so he can hear it as well. So it was a couple of times that we saw him in the background, and we felt like, yes, this is wonderful news. This is really good to see him, So he really heard the gospel.
Oh, that's nice, fantastic, great. Well, we'll most definitely be praying for you in the situation. That's been good. So thanks ever so much for your time. As I said to you before, we'll be sharing this interview hopefully with our church members, which would be great for them to get to know you a bit better. Great, thanks ever so much.
Thank you so much, and greetings to everybody.
God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye.